Hey everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my wrestling show, the place where we talk about all things wrestling. Today I want to take a look at 6 freshmen that could burst onto the scene this year. We're going to talk about either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen that could really make an impact in the 2022-2023 season. At the end of every season, we say goodbye to the guys and the wrestlers that we've been watching for the past 3 or 4 years. We say goodbye to the Mark Kimmer or the Michael Kimmers, the Hayden Hidleys, the Nick Lees, guys that we have seen year in and year out win national titles, end up on the podium, always be a factor. And then at the start of every season, we get to welcome in new freshmen who are going to be on the scene, who are going to be on the podium, who are going to be a factor each and every year for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm thinking about guys like Kyle Dake, Logan Stieber, Mark Hall, Jason Nolf, Hayden Hidley, this past year, Dean Hamidi, Gable Stevenson. There's always a few guys where you know at the end of their freshman year, they're here to win national titles. They're here to end up on the podium, and we're going to enjoy watching them wrestle for the next 3 or 4 years. So let's take a look at the first guy that I have on my list here, Aaron Nago. He wrestles for the University of Minnesota. He's going to be wrestling at 133 pounds. He was our rep for the U23 World Championships at the World Team Trials. If you know about the World Team Trials for the U23, it's a huge bracket. It's always got 60, 70, 80 guys in it. You always have to win 7, 8 matches in a row to get the spot. Well, he did that. He won. He had to beat guys like Brody Teske was in the field. He beat Brody Teske. Kyle Rini was in the field. Chance Rich was in the field. So there weren't any All-Americans in the field, but there were a lot of quality round of 16, round of 12 type wrestlers in the field. And Aaron Nagel was able to come out on top and secure that spot in that world team. And so this is a name where I think he could come in and really prove himself right away and potentially make the podium at 133 pounds. Next, we have Stevo Pauline. He wrestles for Northern Colorado. He graduated he'll be a redshirt freshman. He graduated in the class of 2021. He was the 20th overall ranked wrestler coming out of high school. He was a YouTube sensation for his highlight reel when he was 5 or 6. His highlight reel went viral for his headlocks and for this 5-year-old wrestling at such a high level. He's 125 pounds. He's going to be in that Northern Colorado wrestling room with Troy Nickerson, who is a national champ in his own right, an excellent coach. I'm excited to see what Troy Nickerson, who was a national champ at 125 pounds, what he can do with this talent in Stevo Pauline at 125 pounds. Next after that, we have Caleb Henson. He is going to be wrestling at Virginia Tech. So he graduated this past year out of high school in the class of 2022, the 7th overall ranked wrestler coming out of high school, 149 pounds. He was a Super 32 champ and a Fargo champ. He has all the accolades. He's won the best tournaments you can win in high school. So he's coming into college ready to go. He's going to be in that Virginia Tech room rolling with Bryce Andonian every single day. That will get Caleb Henson prepared to wrestle hard, wrestle fast, and wrestle a crazy style. I'm excited to see what Caleb Henson can do at Virginia Tech this year. It's a really tough weight class at 149 pounds, but I wouldn't be shocked if Caleb Henson is on the podium at the end of the year. Jesse Mendez. He is going to wrestle for The Ohio State University at 133 pounds. Graduated the last year out of high school, was the number 3 overall recruit coming out of high school. He wrestled in the Junior World Team Trials, ultimately lost to his teammate Nick Bouzakis in the best 2 out of 3 for the Junior World spot. He was also wrestling in the Senior World Tournament as well. He ended up losing in a barn burner of a match to Seth Groth. He lost by 1 point, 12 to 13. Yeah, Seth Gross, the guy who ended up making the team, winning multiple matches at the World Championships and placing 5th at the World Championships. Jesse Mendez pushed him to the limit. He has so much talent. He wrestles at such a high pace. Ohio State just had their wrestle-offs this past week, and Jesse Mendez pinned his opponent in just over a minute. He's going to be really, really good. Don't be surprised if he's on the podium at the end of the year. He's going to be at the national tournament. He's going to win some matches. He is going to make some noise this year for the Ohio State University. Up next, we have Casey Swaderski, Iowa State, 141 pounds, the number 2 ranked recruit overall coming out of high school this year. He is excellent. Guys, if you have not seen the match between Casey Swaderski and Jesse Mendez, they wrestled twice. They wrestled at Who's Number One, and then a couple months later, they wrestled in a Rudis event that Rudis put on. Watch that Who's Number One match. It is a high-level high school match. There were so many excellent wrestling exchanges in that match between Casey Swaderski and Jesse Mendez. Casey ended up winning both of those matches. He is very, very good. He is a high-octane offensive guy. Wrestling in that room, Brent Metcalf is going to have him ready. He's coming out. He's going to be the starter from day one. And at this weight class, 141 pounds, it is a wide open weight class. There is anybody from number 1 to number 10 could win the national title here. So Jesse Swaderski, I know his goal is going to be in the national finals and win that national championship. And it has been done before. Could he do it? Let's find out this season. And last but not least, Shane Van Ness, wrestling for the Nittany Lions, Penn State. He's going to be the starter at 149 pounds. He was the number 4 overall recruit coming out of high school in the 2021 class. He has won Who's Number One. I did a lineup review on Penn State. Go check out that video if you're interested. I put his ceiling at the round of 16, and that was probably a little conservative. I think I put his ceiling at the round of 16 simply because he was injured last year. We didn't get to see a lot of his matches. You didn't know how much he was actually able to get into the wrestling room and improving, and 149 is a really deep weight. But really, if I'm being honest, his ceiling, he was so good. His pace is ridiculous. He has such a high pace, and he beat Sean Foz at the U.S. Open, who was a pretty high quality college wrestler and a good wrestler overall, and Shane Van Ness was able to beat him. It was like 17-9 or something. So Shane Van Ness has the talent. He's very skilled. He's in the Penn State wrestling room, working under those coaches. I would not be surprised to see Shane Van Ness this year as a redshirt freshman in the national finals. It's going to be tough. That's a really deep weight class. They have a lot of good guys at 149 pounds. But as we know, Penn State, they bring their guys out. When they're freshmen, they are ready to go. We've seen it time and time again of their freshmen coming out and ending up and winning national titles or being in the national finals. I think that could be the case this year for Shane Van Ness as well. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Comment, subscribe. Let's build a community around the sport of wrestling. You know what? If you don't subscribe, your kid's going to end up being a basketball player. So subscribe below, support the channel, and let's build a community around the sport we love. We'll see you next time, guys.